Alright, today's lesson is on expansion of linear expressions. So in today's lesson, we are going to learn how to expand linear algebraic expressions. Firstly, we will use the Algecards way and then the rectangle diagram. Algecards are a good way to start off, but eventually the rectangle diagram is more suitable because you can use it even during your tests and exams. So first things first, do have your foolscap paper ready to copy down the examples. It will make it a lot easier for you to follow step by step. These are the things that we are going to cover today. So first, we're going to do a very simple one, expansion with positive number. Then we're going to try with negative number. Then we're going to combine them a little bit with whatever we've done previously on simplifying of algebraic terms. So there's expansion and simplifying, after which there will be some questions to test your understanding and you can check your answers after that. Alright, so let's look at the first one, expansion with positive number. So we are going to try to expand this algebraic term 2 times of x plus 1. We are going to use the Algecards method. Alright, so the first thing is we are going to start by forming x plus 1 using Algecards. Now as you know, this will be the x card and this is the 1 card. So this is one set, but there's a 2 in front there, right? So 2 means that we have 2 sets of the same thing. So this is one set, this is the second set. So we have 2 sets of the same thing. One set is 1x and 1, So this is the second one. So this is what we have. Now from here, we can see that we have 2 x cards and 2 1 cards. So our final answer is 2x plus 2. Very easy to see visually. Alright, if you need to fall back to your Algecards, please do so. Now, how can we do without the Algecards? We can use this thing called a rectangle diagram. It makes use of the concept of area, for instance. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we have the x plus 1. We're going to write it at the top here. From the bracket here, x plus 1. And we're going to have 2 times of it, right? So we're going to write the 2 at the side here. So this is like how we normally find the area of a rectangle. So we have area is length times breadth. Alright, length times breadth. So that's how you get 2x because 2 times x is 2x. For this rectangle, the unit here is 1 and this number here is 2. So in the same way, we are going to have area is 2 times 1 is 2. Length times breadth. So the final answer is also 2x plus 2. So you can see whether you use the Algecards method or the rectangle method, you will get the same answer of 2x plus 2 when you expand 2 bracket x plus 1. Now let's try another one more. Okay, so we have 3 bracket x minus 1. So we're going to have 3 and we're going to start with x and minus 1. So minus 1 is the same as plus negative 1. Alright, so this is one set. Now same thing, the 3 in front means that we have 3 sets of the same thing. So we have 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets. Alright, so from here we can see that 3 times of this, right? So we have 3x and we have 3 negative 1s. That's why we have 3x plus negative 3, or we can just write as minus 3. Alright, so the final answer is 3x minus 3. Now, in the same way, how are we going to use the rectangle diagram? Remember, whatever's in the bracket, we're going to write it first. So we have x and minus 1, and the 3 goes outside. Same thing, to find this area, length times breadth. So we'll have x times 3 will give us 3x. Negative 1 times 3 for this other rectangle. So 3 times negative 1 or negative 1 times 3 is the same. So you get negative 3 here. So our final answer is just 3x minus 3, which is also the same. Alright, so now that we have learned how to do the rectangle diagram, for the subsequent examples, I will not be using the Algecards anymore. Alright, so let's try and see how we can expand with a negative number in front. So for this one here, we have negative 3 bracket 2 plus x. So we're going to use the rectangle diagram method. So same thing, the 2 goes first, and then plus x comes in here. Negative 3 will be outside here. For this rectangle, negative 3 times 2 will give me negative 6. For this rectangle, negative 3 times x will give me negative 3x. So this is the final answer, negative 6 minus 3x. So the only difference is that you are multiplying with a negative number. Alright? Going on, how can we expand and simplify algebraic terms? So we're going to use an example that builds on whatever we did earlier on. Okay, so from here, we can have 7x minus 3 bracket 2 plus x. So from the previous slide, we already know that, okay, this part here, right, I purposely borrowed from the previous one. Okay, I'm just going to show you again. Yeah, this is the one, right? Negative 3 bracket 2 plus x. This was the expanded form, negative 6 minus 3x. So if you look at this one here, all right, we have minus 3 bracket 2 plus x can be expanded to negative 6 minus 3x. The only difference now is that we have extra terms in front of it. So we have done the expansion for the second part here. We have the front part. We combine them together and it will look like this, 7x. So this was the expanded one, minus 6 minus 3x. So this is something that we need to continue to simplify, like how we used to do it previously. All right. So we have like terms. Okay, so sorry, this should have been italicized. So 7x and 3x are what we call like terms, same family. All right. So we are going to use the Algecards method to try and simplify. You can draw it out instead of using Algecards. So let's write this out first. So remember, 7x minus 6 minus 3x. Instead of writing minus 3x, I can write it as plus negative 3x. Why I write it as plus negative 3x is to show you that we're going to use 3 negative x cards. Now let's start off with the 7x first. So we have 7 pieces of the x. Alright, 7 pieces. Now minus 6 is the same as plus negative 6. So we have 6 pieces of the red cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, to represent minus 6. And we have minus 3x. So we have 3 pieces of the negative x cards. Now, remember, 1 blue and 1 red is a 0 pair, right? So we can cancel off 1 pair here, cancel off another pair. So these are all 0 pairs, and 1 more last pair here. So what is remaining is 4x cards and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negative 1 cards. So in the end, what we're going to have is that we're going to have 4x minus 6 as the final answer. So this is the simplified form. So earlier on, we expanded, but because there's another 7x term in front, we have to use the simplifying method in order to simplify into the simplest form that we can have. Alright, so you have learned multiplying with a positive number, with a negative number, and also when you have to continue on with other terms to simplify. Alright? Okay, sorry, this is the same. So now we are going to go to test your understanding. So let's try to do these questions on foolscap paper. So I'm going to give you some time to try out this question. So write this down, pause the video. Before you go on to the next part, make sure you try to expand first because the next slide will show you all the answers. Alright, so pause, try it out, and continue the video. Okay, so hopefully you have already done the work and you are going to check your answers now. So let's check the answers. So for the first one, 2 bracket 3x plus 2. When you expand it out, you get it as 6x plus 4. Alright. The next one is using a negative number in front. So we have negative 8 bracket 5 minus 2x. So negative 8 times 5 will give you negative 40. Negative 8 times negative 2x will give you positive 16x. Now this one here, you can use your calculator to help you. Negative 8 times negative 2 it will give you positive 16. So if you're not sure, you can always use the calculator to help you out. All right. Now for part C, this is again the one where we will have to use a little bit of a combination. So we have 4 times of x plus 10. So when we expand it out, we are going to get it as 4x plus 40. And we still have a minus 3x here. So these are positive 4x cards, and these are 3 negative x cards. You should be able to cancel off 3 zero pairs, leaving only 1. So that's why you have only x left, and you also have the 14. So hopefully you are able to check your answers, and you are able to check your understanding. So that's all for the video today. So make sure you clarify any doubts that you still have.